Are video games bad for you, gamers? That's what we're going to talk about today here on Xbox Beyond the Box. I'm your host, Dragon Dust. Hey gamers, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and while you're there, hit that like button. And gamers, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all the love and support that you show the channel each and every day. We really appreciate it here. So gamers, we're here to answer the question, can video games be bad for you? Well, quite frankly, anything that you use in excess can be bad for you. If you eat a couple of hundred cheeseburgers, you're going to put on a couple 100 pounds. If you drink way too much soda, eventually you're going to either be diabetic or you're going to have your stomach cleaned out like Drano. But it's all about how you control things. Now, quite frankly, I do use my video game console a little bit in excess, especially here as of late. I haven't been working with my dad as much. We're on our downtime. And basically, I forget to do things. I haven't been staying on top of doing the dishes or cleaning out the cat box. I have been sitting in my chair, drinking sodas, eating sandwiches, and whatever else my mom fixes for supper. And basically, I put on a few pounds, kind of not gaining in the muscle mass. So what I've had to do is I've had to set up a schedule. I've had to work with my wife to get her to help me, because I will forget. But, what we're looking at is, I hear this a lot. Video games causes laziness. Or, video games are, the downfall of society. Not so much. There are good things about video games. We've been covering that. But when it comes to kids and some adults like myself, we've got to be reminded that we have to do other things. That we cannot live in the console world forever. Or the PC world. Don't want to leave them out. But, essentially, when it comes to parents and your kids, here's where it gets kind of tricky. I've actually heard of parents getting in trouble for taking away their video consoles from their kids. And this is all over, using it as a form of punishment. You take it away, you tell the kid, you ain't supposed to do that. And, the kid flips out and he's basically yelling abuse. So parents are put in, in a rock and a hard place on that. But, something's got to give, because now we have the World Health Organization saying, well, video game disorder or gaming disorder is a mental disorder. No, I just can't wholeheartedly agree with that. I use video games to help with my depression and stuff, and I talked about this a little bit yesterday or day before yesterday. The way I look at it, after I had sat down and thought about it, video games are great. They can help, but used in moderation. A kid has to be able to be made to exercise. A kid has to be told, hey, your homework first, then your video games. And a kid has to be told, that, 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. all night long, binges are bad for them. Especially if you see a kid who wakes up and they have bloodshot eyes because they've been staring at the screen for way, way too long. Or they've forgotten to blink for 3 or 4 hours. And they're starting to take on alien characteristics. Essentially, gamers, if you have kids, you've got to essentially say, hey, 3 or 4 hours, then go do something, or 2 or 3 hours, depending on what you want to do. And, make sure the kid exercises, because, let's face it, we do have an obesity problem in this country, and I've got to contribute a little bit of it to video games and television, and to the parents not being able to say, hey, my kid has to get up, it has to go outside, it has to exercise, it has to do the chores around the house. Because let's face it, granted, a kid, playing video games may look to get a job in that sector, the whole technology thing, but they've also got to learn responsibility and understanding money management. Because most of the time, if kids got a console and they get money, the first thing they want to do is buy a video game. And a kid's got to be, understand that, sooner or later they're going to be an adult, and buying a video game ain't going to be an option every day. Trust me, when I get money, it's not really spent on video games anymore. I use Microsoft reward points to buy my games, such as games with gold, or, if I want to buy a new game, I have to save up, or even my Xbox Game Pass. But children really have to be taught that, if you get money, either it's got to be saved or it's got to be spent on something useful, like a new pair of shoes, school supplies, stuff like that. It shouldn't be totally up to the parent to say, hey, I'm going to provide, and not teach you responsibility. So, with that being said, gamers, what do you think? Is video games harming society? Or, is it society putting these restrictions on parents and such that is actually, hurting things? Tell us what you think in the comments below. I've been your host. This has been Xbox Beyond the Box. I want to wish you all a happy new year as we go into 2018. We're going to be putting up a video soon, discussing our future goals. And most of all, gamers, I want to wish you happy gaming. And stay awesome out there. I'm out of here, y'all.